Rule 3 is Michaela's favorite.
Do not hide unwanted things in the fog. Right. And this is the opposite of hiding unwanted things in the fog. This is confronting them. And that's a variant of St. George and the Dragon, which is an unbelievably pervasive mythological and artistic motif. And perhaps also the oldest story that we have. The oldest stories that we know are variants of King George or St. George and the Dragon. So tell me about this one.
That was difficult because there were too many items that shouldn't look separated, although the woman should be separated. So what I've done is using a fabric of hers and fabric of his, flying into the same direction, and that's the connecting point. Castle should be separated, so I wasn't worried about the castle, but the dark sky and the dragon work in
Sure.
45 degrees, yeah?
Right, absolutely. So the mass of the dragon and the mass of the sky are balanced against the figure of the rider. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that gives it a symmetry across the from the top left corner to the bottom right corner.
Yeah, absolutely.
Draw a line there, it's symmetrical across that axis. Absolutely. And the castle had to be there, and the dragon had to be there, and the woman had to be there. All those elements are crucial. And so this is what you do when you don't hide things in the fog. You confront them and you free something of value as a consequence. That's one of the most magnificent discoveries of human beings that human beings have ever made. And images like this are an attempt to make that conscious, to serve they're a guide to a particular kind of action in the world. That's the voluntary confrontation with things you don't understand and that you are afraid of. And the promise that something of extreme value will emerge as a consequence of that, even though it looks dire initially and can be. I mean, this is no joke, because if you go off to fight dragons, there's always the possibility that you'll die or worse. And that's a real possibility. It's not something that can be hand waved away with any amount of psychological nonsense, let's say. These are real battles, not merely psychological battles.